In the northwestern mountain region of Bosnia and Herzegovina, a ride with the Mountain Rescue Service comes with a surprise. Dozens of migrants take this trail every day. Croatia is a few kilometers away from this forest path. They are trying to cross the external border of the European Union illegally. Living in Europe is a dream for millions of migrants across the world. Close to the EU border is the Bosnian town of Bihać. Migrants are queuing up for a warm meal. Aid organizations have set up emergency food distribution sites. Thousands of people are stuck here. They were sent back by Croatian border guards. As winter approaches, nights are cold. Official accommodation centers are full. Migrants are sleeping rough in tents and abandoned buildings.
I am Pakistan. I am going to Spain. You are going to Croatia. And I am making bread. No good food. Water is closed. Yes. Problem. Water is closed. 3 times poured in Croatia.
Migrants are squatting in this abandoned dormitory. Parts of the building are without light. Rival migrant groups are clashing with each other. The Bosnian authorities have sent special forces to arrest troublemakers. Most media have been kept out, but Euronews got exclusive access. We speak to a Pakistani man who was involved in a campaign to increase vaccination awareness. After the Taliban threatened him, he left to seek asylum in Europe.
Did you try already to cross the border?
Yeah, one time I crossed the border from Croatia to Slovenia.
Okay.
Slovenia police catch me and throw back to Bosnia. They gave me Croatia. After Croatia, throw back to Bosnia police.
You're saying the Slovenian authorities did not pay attention to what you told them?
Yes, they did not pay attention. I said again and again, my friend told him, Slovenian government, Slovenian police, we need protection, please. They don't take any interview, they don't take any documents, they don't give me and my friend any permission to go to asylum office. We told him before we need a lawyer. They don't give me provide lawyer.
In 2015, around 1 million migrants and refugees took the Western Balkans route through Serbia. That's until Hungary closed the border. But after 2015's vast influx of migrants, could there be a new Western Balkans migration route emerging? The difference this year is that only 21,000 migrants are making their way through Bosnia and Herzegovina. But Croatia has intensified controls. In October, hundreds of migrants tried to break through the Maljevic border crossing from Bosnia to Croatia in large groups. The police retaliated with tear gas and batons. Some made their way back to Bihać. Sanitary conditions are poor with a lack of toilets and showers, but the overwhelming majority of migrants refuse to accept offers from the international community to resettle in their home countries. Up to 1,000 people have been living in this crumbling building. This is a real scandal created by Bosnia and Herzegovina. But above all, these people here complain about alleged violence by the Croatian police. Up to 2,500 migrants have been expelled from Croatia since the beginning of 2018. That's according to the UNHCR. More than half say they've been denied access to asylum procedures. And 700 of them have reported violence by border guards.
This side broken, you know, look, my broken, this is the broken. And the head, the broken, the fighter. You know, the wish, the Croatia government, the wish. But man is the catch, no problem, but anybody no fighting. Because I am the man. Mobile, money, shoelace, everything, the clothes, after then the dustbin. But I am the human, I am not the animal.
Close to the capital of Sarajevo, military barracks had been transformed into an accommodation center for migrants stranded in Bosnia. Groups of Somali and Pakistani people are staying outside. Just days after opening, the center, which can house 400 people, is overcrowded. We meet with an official from the International Organization for Migration. He specializes in the Western Balkans, and with years of experience, he's an expert in this field.
We're looking at a population that I would say 80 to 85% are people that are economic migrants rather than people in need of international protections. You look at the nationalities, roughly 35% Pakistanis, the highest number of people that are here. We have 20% Afghanis, 20% Syrians. Syrians, I have some doubts of how many of these people are actually Syrians because there's also a lot of people from North Africa who self-declare as Syrian. We've had 20,000, 21,000 people since the beginning of the year. 4,500 are here. That means that 3 out of 4 migrants have managed to cross irregularly into Croatia. It is clear that there were rumors circulating amongst migrants that Croatia would open its official borders to let the migrants through. This message was also parted by smugglers who wanted to make sure that their businesses kept on going.
The price of smuggling people into Europe is surging. This comes as Croatia and the European Union make moves to step up their surveillance.
I'll do whatever is needed. I'll pay money to the smugglers or I'll just wait, whatever. But I really need to cross the border and go to Europe. To travel from Afghanistan to Bosnia, I've already paid the smugglers 6,500 euros.
It's proving a problem for those in need of asylum protection, such as a former translator for the US Army in Afghanistan. The Taliban kidnapped one of his brothers. The man spoke to us on a condition of anonymity. He paid 5,300 euros for his journey. We're calling him Baba.
It's not easy to access the territory of the European Union. So how you want to manage this?
Many of people are going from Croatia by walk in forest, so it's difficult to go, but the problem is the money. If you will pay the money, they will take you with themselves to cross the borders. But by walk, in forest, in the rain, in the rivers, so you have to take this risk. But they will take you with themselves to cross the border, but they need the money.
Smugglers have recommended this northwestern Bosnian mountain trail to cross into Croatia. But the money paid to traffickers is wasted. These men are unaware that they are being observed by motion detectors, thermovision cameras, high-tech drones, and even a small plane. Croatia and Bosnia have been closely collaborating with Frontex, the European Border Guard Agency. Euronews got access to this rare footage which shows a Frontex plane surveying a person. The man is waiting near a van close to the border in Croatia. 20 people arrive running out of the woods and climb into the van. While the plane follows the vehicle, the Frontex monitoring center alerts the Croatian authorities in real time. The police then intercept the van and arrest 2 smugglers. Back in Bihać, Bosnia, hundreds of migrants are stranded at the border. They have been for months sleeping rough. A group of Iraqi Kurds show us their broken smartphones. They have been trying for months to enter the European Union through the forests. Croatian police push them back violently. Mohammed explains.
The Croatian police squeezed us all into a police van and drove us back towards the Bosnian border. They made us sit down and took our smartphones and told us not to move. They took our smartphones and smashed them in front of us. We were then surrounded by 5 policemen and 2 commanders. They told us to stand up. We asked them, "Where is the money you took from us?" Instead of answering us, they took their truncheons and hit me on my arms and legs. We were a group of 5. We ran towards the water. We crossed the river and it was raining and cold, and we arrived again in Bosnia. Once we had crossed the border, they threw stones at us. This is a small stone, but they threw really big ones at us. We returned back towards Bosnia.
This is Cetingrad, a picturesque village in Croatia near the border. But what is the Croatian take on all these allegations? After several weeks of negotiations, the Croatian Ministry of Interior authorized us to visit the local border protection unit. It was recently revamped with European taxpayers' money and headed by Damir Butina. He works for a local border guard unit. He just received the delivery of surveillance equipment.
You told me you got new equipment?
Yes. Just see. It's light thermovision cameras. I can show you also a screen.
Yeah. What is this about?
Well, it's about that you have a long-distance thermovision camera, and you are operating it with this joystick. You see the terrain through that screen, and it's something like a PlayStation.
Maybe let's have a look outside how you do your job on the green border.
Of course.
Croatia wants to join the Schengen area soon, so it's putting an extra effort securing its external EU border. In spite of that, police officers are adamant that they would never risk their jobs by mauling migrants or even smashing their mobile phones. So how do they explain the injuries of many migrants?
We were aware about the reports coming from Bosnia and Herzegovina about the violence among the migrant groups internally. If they have injuries, it's most probably caused by those rivaling migrant groups fighting against each other. They probably inflict injuries to each other and falsely claim the Croatian police did it. Kao rezultat tih međusobnih obračuna unutar migracijske populacije.
The debate about alleged police violence has reached a political level. Could it delay Croatia's membership in the Schengen zone? The European Commission say they are assessing Croatia's management of the external EU border, and the Council of Europe, which is in charge of supervising human rights all over the continent, has asked the Croatian government for some answers. The Croatian government firmly denies any wrongdoing and emphasises the recent success in the fight against people smugglers along the 1,000-kilometre border with Bosnia. The external border of the European Union is over here. The EU and the Croatian government invested in high technology, but also beefed up their human resources. Ivana and Josip are just 2 out of 6,000 Croatian border police forces in charge of securing the border. Let's move back to the Bosnian side of the border. A muddy field in Velika Kladuja. Hundreds of migrants are sleeping in makeshift shelters. We meet with a member of Doctors Without Borders in Bosnia to confirm reports of alleged Croatian police violence.
We do documentation of these cases and investigate the wounds that they have, the bruises or something. And these wounds that they show match with the allegations that people tell us. They are coherent to what are allegedly they're coming from. So we see like bruises that can come from kicks or from beatings with batons.
Off camera, a Syrian refugee tells me about problems in the camp with soft and hard drugs. Temperatures are below zero now. Tents are not heated. An emergency situation inches closer. Mohammed arrived from Iran. He has been confronted with harsh conditions in the camp and real difficulties in crossing the border. He's considering returning.
We have been cheated by someone or some smuggler. It doesn't matter. So in this case, my idea personally, I want to get back to Iran to continue my study. My surprise was just about as I told you, about how many people here. There is a very dirty area, yeah. Nobody cannot live here for just 1 hour maybe, but they are just living for a month, maybe some of them maybe 3 months, 4 months here. It's impossible. I cannot even, imagine. And right now, I'm just convincing my cousin maybe to getting back to country.
Earlier this year, Bosnians were supportive of migrants, but now with growing numbers stuck at the border, locals are staging anti-migration demonstrations. Asim Latik is among those helping by handing out warm meals for free.
In 9 months, we've served between 400 to 500 meals every day. In total, we've served over 130,000 meals. We're a team of 5 people, including myself, and we're all Bosnian war veterans. We still remember those 4 war years we went through when we were thirsty and hungry ourselves. And that's why we feel for those refugees, and that's why we've decided to help them. They have the same problems we had some time ago.
The external border of the European Union is only a few kilometers ahead, but the mountain zone before it is hazardous. The local mountain rescue team was recently called in for an emergency operation when migrants entered the woody areas with left behind landmines.
They are using these dangerous mountain trails because they want to avoid running into anyone like the police. We don't understand why they are taking such big risks with their lives. 3 months ago, we had a dramatic rescue operation because a migrant went up to the mountains, to a location where suddenly he found himself lost in the middle of the night in a minefield. In the morning, he discovered that he was surrounded by landmine signs, so he was phoning for help. Our team went up to get him out of the minefield. It was very risky, even for us. Together with other services, such as the police from Bihać, we managed to save his life and to get him out successfully without injuries.
Today, very few migrants are keen to fill out voluntary repatriation papers handed out. More will still try to cross the external border of the European Union illegally. They will brave rain, fog and darkness on their desperate journey to a new home.